When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times. One only remembers to turn on the light.
It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends.
The ones that love us never really leave us.
Working hard is important, but there's something that matters: believing in yourself. If they can do it, why not us?
Hey everyone, welcome to Hogwarts, a podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hogwarts, a podcast. We're covering Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Act 3, Scenes 14 through 17. We have Elizabeth back on with us.
Hi everyone.
And Mallory makes her return to the podcast.
Hello.
Very happy to have you on for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. This is your first time reading it?
Yes.
Cool. Before we get into the scenes, I did want to go over, we recently got our Spotify Wrapped stats. If you follow us on social media, especially Instagram, you'll see that we did post those. As always, when we've gotten these Spotify Wrapped stats as creators of content, it really is a little overwhelming and a little humbling to see all these stats come through. Just to name a few of the stats, we had a 15% increase in followers from last year, and we're over 2,000 followers total, which is awesome to see that growth continue. We reached 64 different countries this last year alone.
Didn't you do a recent count of how many countries in total?
Yeah, we've been heard in 152 different countries total since we started the podcast.
Wow. So hello to the world.
Hello to the world. Yes, you ladies are currently being heard in other countries when this airs. Some of those countries, we got a list of the top countries from the last year. Obviously the United States, which makes a lot of sense. The United Kingdom. Then we get the Czech Republic. We get South Africa and Germany. So I know I was personally floored by Czech Republic and South Africa. I know we've been heard a lot in Belgium and the Netherlands and Ireland, but Czech Republic, this is the first time really popping up on my radar as a frequent listener country. And then South Africa is just awesome to get the African continent involved. So I love seeing that. And I know when I posted this on Instagram, someone responded back with a South African flag.
Oh, cool.
If you are listening to us from any of those countries, hi, please let us know where you're listening from, regardless of the country that you're listening from. I love to hear it. Continuing on with some of the cool stats, we were the number one show for 101 fans, which is an awesome, awesome thing. I think we were a top 10 show for over 550 people.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's, again, humbling that all of these people are tuning in and continuing to listen throughout.
I like the one that was talking about people marathoning our show. I think it said that we were a 2025 marathon show.
Yes.
That people would listen to multiple episodes in a row, and I think that's awesome.
20% of our fans listened to multiple episodes in a day.
Oh my gosh.
Which is awesome.
I could see it. It's very entertaining.
That is awesome. Fans listen to us for longer than 97% of other shows. We've received more comments than 98% of other shows.
Thank you to everyone who has commented.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing to get everybody's thoughts and to get that interaction with all of you. So we know what you're thinking. We know what you're thinking about what we're thinking. And to have that kind of discussion, even though it's through a lot of space, it's through some time, and it's from all over the world. That is so cool that we can have those kind of interactions with all of you. It's because of all of you that we continue to do this. I would not have imagined when we started that we would be on Cursed Child, or that we would be multiple years into this recording. And that's because of all of the support and interactions that all of you have brought to this podcast. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the 15% increase in growth. That means you guys are also sharing the podcast, which that helps. Everything helps. Liking, the podcast, giving us a thumbs up, giving us a review, a 5-star review really helps put the podcast out there. Sharing it, literally mentioning it to other people or sending a link, that helps. Engagement in our social media, whether it's on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, that all helps us as well. You can find all of our socials at Hogwarts a Pod. And we look forward to the next Spotify Wrapped, and we look forward to seeing all of the growth that is strictly because of you. So thank you once again. And I guess we could actually get started with the scenes. I know Mallory is chomping at the bit to give her thoughts on Cursed Child. So we start with Act 3, Scene 14. We're in Hogwarts, in the Slytherin dormitory. Scorpius wakes Albus a little on the creepy side, I'm not going to lie. A little creepily.
You don't like people standing over you and whispering your name?
No, not generally. Not generally. I'm sure that, I'm sure the Slytherin dormitory is gorgeous. They're all gorgeous in their own way. But I feel like it would be a little creepier in the Slytherin dormitory with like the glow of the lake and everything like that. I feel like it'd be a little creepier. But he claims to be Scorpius the Dreadless and Malfoy the Unanxious now. After his time spent in the other, more scary, more dangerous world, he's taken on a little bit more of a brave stance. And then he also says, while taking on this new moniker, or this new persona, he attempted to hug Rose and then got kicked in the shin. So that relationship has not changed exactly.
I love that he mentioned how, like, now, since he's so dreadless, like, endless detention that McGonagall put them in, he's like, I don't care about that. The only thing in the world that could actually freak me out now would be Moldy Voldy coming back to torture him. And I love the fact that they actually use the word Voldy, because I don't think we've had that in the play yet. We definitely didn't have it in the series. So this is the part of the play I will actually accept as headcanon, calling Voldemort Voldy.
Scorpius has now made that canon, that it's now, yeah.
That's the only part I'll accept as canon.
Fair enough. Scorpius does recap the other world, with Cedric being a dark, dangerous wizard, Draco doing whatever they wanted, and Scorpius being an entitled, angry, mean individual. It was like taking a test, except everybody failed. Mallory, what did you think when you read about this alt reality where Voldemort won, Umbridge is the headmistress, and everything seems to be dark and scary and dangerous?
Yeah, if Voldemort stayed in power, it would be very evil all around. I don't think that Umbridge would be the headmistress, though, now that I'm thinking about it. It would probably be like Snape or like some other Death Eater. I don't think she would stay in power.
That's a fair point, actually. Wouldn't Snape get Snape did, in real world, get the bump up to headmaster.
I could see him or like Lucius maybe get in the position. Someone real, like, slimy.
Yeah.
Like, how did Umbridge end up with the headmistress spot? I guess she held the position technically before.
She gave Voldemort, like,
A cat plate.
A cat plate or, like, a pink piece of paper. It's like, here's my resume. Give me the job.
It's like,
Maybe.
You know what? I like cats, too. Honestly, I think it was a lot of, like, cameos, like, you know, when you were watching a movie and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the guy from The Thing. And I think that was what that was, like, Umbridge was the character where you're like, oh my gosh, she was the one everyone hated, and that's why she was in there. But realistically, I don't think the position would go to her.
I could definitely see that. I think Snape would be the obvious choice since he's the one that got it in the real world anyway. But, man, it does create for quite the spectacle in the theater when you see Umbridge just get raised up and then blasted back by Snape. And then there's the inevitable, like, smattering of applause or, like, general cheering. It's a cool moment.
Everyone hates Umbridge.
So to your point, I think it is a little bit of like, hey, let's put in this name that you're familiar with that's so well known.
Yeah, but you're right. I didn't see it live. So that effect was kind of lost on me just from reading it. Mm-hmm. But you're right, that would look really cool.
Albus ends up saying that anyone can make their initial mistake of going back to save Cedric once. But to try to go back and save him twice was really particularly stupid. And he says, Why did I do this? He says, Cedric? No, it wasn't for Cedric. I didn't really go back to save Cedric. It's because I had something to prove. So he does kind of revert back to that idea that we've had early on in this play where the son of Harry Potter, who feels kind of forgotten about, who has a well-liked older brother already at Hogwarts. They're both in Gryffindor. They're both well associated with Gryffindor at this point. He's the oddball sent to Slytherin. He has kind of a reject as a friend as well. So they're both oddballs together, shunned, generally. Also, he hasn't shown much actual magical talent by this point. So he had that kind of, I need to prove that I'm worthy of being Harry Potter's son. I need to prove that I'm worthy of being a Potter. I'm being a valuable member of this family at Hogwarts and in the magical community as a whole. He has like this admission about his father where he goes, well, Harry was right. He wasn't ever really going out of his way to ask for adventure. He was thrust into it most of the time. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it on a previous episode, but it's also, even in like book 1, where you can argue like, well, did he really have to go searching for the Sorcerer's Stone? Did he really have to try to get past Fluffy? I think from day 1, from Hagrid knocking down the door where Vernon was trying to hide out, from that day, he was thrust into it because Voldy had always wanted to get back at him. So Harry was always going to get the smoke. Like, that was never going to not be his thing, and that had nothing to do with a choice that he made. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that Albus kind of recognizes that from Harry. It's like, oh, wait, he had to rise to the occasion. He never was the occasion. This is Albus literally making an occasion for himself out of nothing.
For no reason.
For no reason. Scorpius does reassure Albus that, yeah, you might not have physically been there with me, and you might not have physically experienced it, but you were with me fighting alongside this evil because in my darkest moments, you were the one that I thought of, and you were the one that helped me get through that, which Albus acknowledges was an emotional moment. They do say that saving Cedric wasn't a bad idea, but we also can't try that again. Like, that is done. We cannot go back to that well again. But he does reveal the Time Turner, which he then says, Scorpius says he hopes to destroy. So he's duped everyone. He kind of hid that from McGonagall. He's hid it from Harry and his father. What do we think about him hiding the Time Turner from everybody?
I hate this. Because to me, like, Scorpius pulls that out. Albus is like, oh, we should go tell someone about this. And Scorpius is like, we can't trust the Ministry. They didn't keep it safe the first time. So only we can destroy this thing. And I'm like, you literally just said that your big mistake was messing with time. And I feel like saying that I'm not going to trust the Ministry shows you don't know anything about like Hermione or McGonagall. Like, Hermione just lost her children. So she has learned her mistake. She would have destroyed it. McGonagall, even if Hermione, for some stupid reason, wouldn't destroy it, McGonagall would make her. And I feel like Harry would too. So this kind of, to me, feels like the complaint that Julie always has of Harry having this complex of only I can set things right. And it's like, I don't think you have to be the one to destroy this right now. Give it to the adults.
Well, I want to be clear really quick. It's Albus who says they should tell someone about this.
Yes.
They should let someone know that this thing exists.
It's like the smartest thing he said this whole book.
Right. Well, that's why I want to make a clear delineation. Albus says, hey, wait a second. Time out. We need to tell someone about this. And it's Scorpius who's generally
has
been...
this complex this time.
Scorpius has generally been the more cautious, the more wise of the two. And he's the one that says, well, can we really trust the Ministry to actually take care of this? They didn't the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really interesting because that would be the opposite of what Draco and Harry would do in their youth.
Yeah.
Harry would be like, I don't care, I'm going to do it myself. And Draco would be like, I'm telling my father. So that's kind of interesting.
That's so true.
So what do we think about this idea that they can't give it back to the Ministry? Because the Ministry currently is Albus's father, the great Harry Potter, and Hermione Granger, the two heroes of the wizarding world. You can't give this to them?
It's interesting to me because we had a whole long discussion, mostly you going on a tangent, about how we need to trust the ministry more and how we should work with them in order to put things right. And here we finally have people in the ministry who I do think actually listen to the people and care about doing the right thing. And these kids are like, no, they're no good. We're going to do it ourselves.
Kinda. I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over again.
No one ever trusts the government.
No one ever trusts the government, essentially, yeah. First of all, Hermione did hide it in her office at the Ministry of Magic behind magical protections. You were the one that decided to actually break in there and mess everything up. You two, no one even knew that thing existed until you two brought it to light. Everything was fine. It was hidden away. No one knew it existed. It was behind magical protection in a fairly well-protected place. Mm-hmm. You two were the ones that kind of blew everything to pieces.
But what about Hermione, though? Should she have really kept it? She's the one who knows what time turners do. She, out of all of that generation, is the one who knows time turners the best. Shouldn't she have destroyed it with other time turners?
Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation to definitely have. If we're going to go down that road, I think it's a balance of, yes, there's the danger of it, like you just illustrated. And then we're talking about Hermione, who has this magical object, which, as we've seen and as we've kind of heard of from other characters interacting with this, it's not a normal time turner. It's clearly got, whatever, upgrades or changes to it, however you want to define it. And I think her academic curiosity and her love of just magical history would prevent her from actually destroying it. I think she'd be too curious about, like, what is this? And then too maybe upset to see such a unique magical object just get destroyed.
I personally think Hermione, it makes the most sense for her to actually hang on to it, because I feel like it was so drilled into her third year, that going back further in time than a few hours causes massive ripples in time. So I think if she held on to it, she would treat it responsibly, which we saw her doing because she did keep it locked away. And it would only be used as like a last minute resort kind of weapon just in case something happened that we would need to fix. My question though is, like, with these kids, like, they think that they can handle this. We haven't seen them be great with magic. Why do they think they're capable of breaking some magical item that's this intense?
The mistakes made up to this point have not been... I mean, Harry has said some things that were a mistake, but he hasn't done anything that's generally been considered a mistake. Hermione, same thing. Ron, even though he's not the Ron maybe we're used to, still hasn't really made... Like, the adults here haven't really made the mistakes.
Right.
It's really been Albus and Scorpius fumbling over themselves repeatedly that have caused all of this. So why on earth are they like, we're the ones capable of ridding the world of this evil?
And Scorpius, really. Like, I know, yes, he went back in time and he saw the other version of events and then he became, like, unanxious. But that's a really quick character turnaround to do a 180, you know?
He's definitely the most motivated to get rid of this thing because he witnessed what it can cause.
I think that's too quick of a turnaround for him. Like, I think it makes more sense for him to still be a little hesitant to do anything. So you're right. It's weird that they're both so excited to do this by themselves.
Do you think it has to do with his new personality change? And now that he's now Scorpius the Dreadless.
Malfoy the Unanxious?
Right.
Maybe.
Do you think his emboldened nature is kind of the catapult that's led him to, oh, I can handle this. We're good, right? We're fine.
Probably.
Maybe, but
I think if they had a friend like Hermione, like the way Ron and Harry had Hermione to balance them out, that friend could be like, you know, we could just witness the adult breaking it and be satisfied. Like, we don't have to do it ourselves.
Well, what's the problem with McGonagall, too?
All right, she could probably do it.
Like, McGonagall clearly has a very potent reaction to this time turner existing.
I'm shocked they're just not, like, Let's give it to McGonagall so we don't get detention for the rest of our time at Hogwarts.
Like, what about McGonagall seems like incompetent to them?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, so they're old enough to understand that this is stupid.
At the very least, have her, like, transfigure it into a book or a seashell or something like that, and then have Hermione hide it away somewhere.
Wouldn't it be fascinating if you could transform it into a book and it just gives you, like, the complete history of time? And it's, like, never ends.
That would
Wouldn't
be
that be
cool.
cool? Like,
That's a great idea.
That.
Are you a witch?
And Elizabeth has been discovered.
No! I need a time turner to go back in time.
That it would be a very cool idea if she was able to transfigure it into a book that told the story of time.
Such a cool idea.
That's a very cool idea. McGonagall, if anyone, would be the one to do it. Mm-hmm. So
McGonagall's who I aspired to be when I grew up, and then I became Trelawney.
That might be my favorite thing ever said on this podcast, right there. That is wonderful.
Oh, gosh.
We move on to Act 3, Scene 15, Hogwarts. We're still in the Slytherin dormitory. Harry and Ginny are moving quickly through the dorm as Craig Bowker Jr. repeats constantly that it is against school rules for parents or professors to enter house quarters without permission from... And then McGonagall enters.
If these were normal circumstances, the Potters would be the most annoying parents ever to deal with.
Yeah.
They really are.
Why are you breaking into a dorm in the middle of the night? Why are you even at Hogwarts? Like, send an owl.
Do you think McGonagall's, like, literally rushing to this scene being like, they weren't this bad with James. Like, they just let James be. Like, why am I rushing over here? McGonagall does have a little bit of a snappy attitude because she calls Craig's constant repetition tiresome. And that makes me think, is Craig this generation's Percy Weasley? Is he like the head boy here or the prefect who's in charge of all of this and was notified that, hey, you're going to have some visitors?
It's like, I had one job. I had to keep him out of the room.
And he must be having a surreal moment because he's like, am I really telling Harry Potter to get out of the Slytherin dormitory right now? Like, what is going on?
He was giving big Percy energy.
That was the only thing I could think of. Was like, oh my gosh, Craig Bowker Jr. is Percy Weasley in this. But anyway. They come to find out as they arrive that Albus and Scorpius are once again missing. They do not take this well, surprisingly. Ginny asks Harry what you said to Albus earlier when you were having this discussion. Harry notices a hint of accusation in her voice, and Ginny continues on with, you controlled yourself, right? How heated did it get? And Harry's like, look, it was fine. It was good. We had a positive interaction for once. For one time, it was good. And Ginny says, quote, I can forgive you for one mistake. Maybe even two. But the more mistakes you make, the harder to forgive you it becomes. End quote.
I'm sad that Harry and Ginny are fighting so much because the end of Harry Potter, when they're old and they're like waiting on the train platform and it's a happily ever after, you know. Harry got the girl, happy, and now I don't want to see them going through couples counseling. I don't want that.
This very much seems like they're headed for couples therapy, if therapy actually existed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. She's overheard conversations between Harry and Albus in the past. We witnessed those. And in those conversations, she talked to Harry afterwards and was like, yeah, those things that you said, didn't love them, didn't think they were the right things for him to be hearing right now, but I trust you. And I think that conversation, it went the way it did, whatever. She forgave him for it. But it seems like if she let those conversations go and keep happening, and now she's putting all this blame on Harry when the last conversation, like you said, the last conversation he had was actually a good one. We complimented him for it. And now she's being like, oh, well, it's your fault that he's once again not in his bed. It's like, well, how is everyone miscommunicating so much? It's just so sad right now. You'd think she would have had her own conversation with Albus. I mean...
You would hope.
Because because Harry had just said how, Ginny kept her room the same. Like, she let me...
This really messed with her, yeah.
Yeah, like, she refused to let me go into her room and change anything. Not that Harry would change anything. You would think she would be like, why did you do this? Let's have a conversation. And if having both parents in the room at the same time would be too much, well, then have her conversation first, or Harry's first, and then Mom come in afterwards to be that comfort. But she didn't talk to him at all.
Yeah, maybe she has been the peacekeeper, and this is all, made up. It's not implied or anything, but maybe she has been the peacekeeper, and she's just at a point where she's like, Harry, I'm tired of cleaning up all your messes. You need to deal with your kids. I don't know, but that's information we don't get from this.
Do you think, they do mention at some point, they got married when they were very young.
Yeah.
Like, do you think at some point they're like, hey, maybe we should have just taken a time out and, like, continued the dating process for a little bit longer and got to know who each other are I get that it's after the Wizarding War, and look, it's probably after, like, World War II, and there's a baby boomer era for a reason. Things happen after major wars, and you're like, hey, we gotta live for the now, because you never know what's gonna come, and whatever. Maybe they should have taken a little time out. I'm not saying that Ginny and Harry are wrong for each other. I'm just saying maybe they should have gotten to know each other together as a couple, maybe a little bit more.
I feel like they might have looked at Arthur and Molly and just been like, oh, they did it, so we can do it too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like
their upbringing is very different too.
Yes.
Like, Ginny had the very loving, close-knit family, and then Harry had... It does make sense that Harry's a bad dad, I think. I think it does, because I was thinking about this, because he was literally, like, I know, he had Hagrid, and he had Sirius, and he had Albus, but, like, he did have a lot of...
questionable adults in his life.
Questionable adults in his fault. Yes. It all started with Vernon and Petunia.
I get what you're saying with, like, he has had some questionable adults in his life that maybe have not been the best role models as a parent. Albus, certainly not. Hagrid, love him. I love Hagrid, but no. And then Sirius, not exactly the greatest father figure. Sorry, Julie. But not exactly the greatest father figure. He's also a little bit on the reckless side. And he never got to grow up in a loving house with Lily and James bringing him up. Whereas Ginny did get that very much family vibe where Arthur, oh my gosh, Arthur's the dad. All of them wanted to go to Arthur and talk to Arthur about whatever. Like, if they had an issue in their lives, they're like, hey, Dad, can we have a talk?
I think we should also consider, like, Harry spent 17 years in a heightened state of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he probably should have taken some time to just learn, like, who am I when I'm not being pursued by Voldemort?
Okay, fair. I'll restate my question on Harry and Ginny's relationship. Not should they have gotten married right away. Should they have had kids right away?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe they should have waited just a little bit longer for the kids. But anyway, Trouble in Paradise a little bit, it seems. So, yeah, I would be fascinated to know our listeners' opinions on the Ginny-Harry dynamic in this scene, because there's some ripples. So, we will take a little break before we get into scenes 16 and 17. So, we will pause right here, and we will be back shortly. Before we get to our break sound, I'd like to acknowledge our friend Andy, who helps us produce our intros and our break sounds. If you want to hear more of Andy's work and like Formula One racing, check out the Outlap F1 podcast. It's your one-stop shop for Formula One news, insights, race previews, and reviews. You can find them wherever you listen to podcasts, and they even have a YouTube page. So check out Andy, Cody, John, James, and Deanna, and join them on the Outlap.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
speaking into the void?
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so we are back with Act 3, Scene 16. We are now at the Hogwarts Owlery. Don't often see the Owlery pop up, like, ever in anything, but here we are. Albus and Scorpius appear on the roof, debating how to destroy the Time Turner. They bring up Confringo, Expulso, which they deem is too good. They can't use Expulso because it's too effective. It would scatter Time Turner pieces everywhere. Okay. Bombarda, well, we can't use Bombarda because that's too loud. We'll wake up the whole castle. Fair. And then Stupefy is brought up because that's been proven to be effective, because that's how all the Time Turners at the Department of Mysteries were destroyed.
This is why you should leave it to the adults who know the correct way to destroy this thing.
Yeah, if they know that was a spell used at the Department of Mysteries, they should also know what else happened to people in the Department of Mysteries when all of that broke down. And whatever happened to that Death Eater with that baby head?
Oh, yeah.
Is he still in, like, St. Mungo's? Probably, right? Because, I mean, that's a problem. Should probably get an adult. Just saying.
I like how Scorpius is, like, he's being the more mature one here. Like, we need to pick the right spell because we have to do this. I feel like people don't always think about the repercussions of our actions, because Albus is just like, let's pick something fun. Let's do it differently. I'm like, no, why are you guys failing this lesson so hardcore? Just do it correctly so it's gone.
Also, just using the Time Turner, just using it in its appropriate intended use has injured you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think actually trying to destroy this thing might do? Like, if you just used it correctly and it's hurt you. Why do you think blowing this thing to smithereens is going to be good for your health? Like, I don't understand their logic. At this point, as they're trying to argue over which spell to use, Delphi appears. And Albus says he sent her an owl to inform her of their decision to destroy the Time Turner. And then begins to tell her of this other world that existed and how terrible it was, so this Time Turner must go. And Delphi's like, I'm sorry, wait, what? Voldy was alive. He was alive in this? Well, we can't have that. Here, let me take the Time Turner. I'll take care of it. And she takes the Time Turner. Albus notices a marking on Delphi's neck as she turns away from him. And Delphi acknowledges that she has an augury tattoo. An augury is a sinister-looking black bird that cries when rain is coming. Also, and this is burying the lead just a bit, it can possibly foretell death. Small detail. Small little detail. They ask about the augury and why the augury is a symbol she's decided to have tattooed. And Delphi says that growing up, my guardian kept one in a cage. The caregiver's name is Euphemia Rowell. And Delphi believes that Rowell only took her in for the gold. Not really a fan of Delphi. And Euphemia would tell Delphi that her bird cried because it could see a sticky end in Delphi's future. So she has the tattoo to remind her that the future is hers to make. And Scorpius, meanwhile, listening to this story is like, huh, interesting. Wait, Rowell? They're like a known Death Eater family. Like an extreme Voldy support group right there.
I like how Scorpius is putting two and two together, and Albus is just fanboying and being like, whoa, you have a tattoo? I might get a tattoo too. We could be tattoo buddies. Like,
well,
jeez.
After we've called Scorpius and Albus out for switching roles in the previous scene, they have now switched immediately back, where Scorpius is like on point and Albus is like making every weird decision you could possibly make. Why did you have to call Delphi in? And yes, he is fanboying over the tattoo and her in general. We know he's got a crush, like a heavy crush on Delphi, but my goodness.
Did you guys know what an augury was before this?
I had to look it up.
Me too. I just looked it up. It's a bird used in ancient divination practices. So there is like some folklore.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like the parts of Harry Potter universe that are rooted in more folklore. Like, I just learned that I'm reading another book about ancient Celtic fairies because reasons.
Nerd.
And I know,
cool.
I'm a huge nerd. And
As we all sit here on a podcast for Harry Potter.
and actually there was an elf that a Celtic elf that you would gift clothing to stop them from being in your space. You would like let them go. I was like, that sounds familiar. That is a house elf. So there's actual like folklore that relates to what the Harry Potter world is.
That's cool.
So all those little details it's very interesting for me. Okay, sorry for the nerd session. Continue with the story.
Continue with the nerd session.
Yes, continue with the other nerd session.
Gotcha. So Scorpius is like, hey, the Rowls weren't great people. And thinks about it for a little bit. And he's like, wait a second. Can I get the time turner back? I think I need the time turner back. Give it to me. And he then says, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you've said to us so far about your upbringing, why you didn't go to Hogwarts. I don't think you were ill. Why are you here? Which is a great question to ask in Act 3, Scene 16. I mean, to be fair, it makes sense because a child really would probably gloss over a lot of the sketchy details.
You're going to trust the adults that come into your life.
Correct. So, I mean, it makes sense in world, but I'm like, yeah, that's a great question to ask this far along in the process. He says that they called you the augury in the other world. You were the augury. Which, in the other world, was built up to be like the ruling entity, really.
Yeah, because whenever they would talk about honoring Voldemort, they would also mention the augury.
Yeah. So, obviously, a very important, powerful person in the other world. Delphi thinks about it for a second and was like, I like that name. That's a good name. That suits me. Albus, super confused, naturally. Delphi ends up being very quick with her wand and repels Scorpius, overpowering him. She uses the spell Fulgari, which binds Scorpius's arms in vicious cords. Delphi then also binds Albus with the same exact spell. Goes up to him, ends up breaking both of their wands, so they're essentially, like, completely powerless. But before she does that, she says, I thought I'd have to use far more spells for this. You're much easier to control than Amos. Male children are so naturally pliant.
I don't like her, but it's funny.
That was a sassy line. I like that input that she gives. I also like the little detail of like, oh, you're far more easily controllable than Amos, which means it implies Amos put up at least a little bit of a struggle. It almost like it reminds me of Barty Crouch Jr.
Yeah.
And both with Moody and with his father of controlling very powerful, smart, intelligent, capable people. Because I mean, Amos isn't to the level of either Barty Crouch Sr. or Mad-Eye Moody that we know of. But he worked for the Ministry, so he was a competent wizard. Obviously, he raised the glowing, wonderful prize student Cedric, so he was probably capable.
What I like about it is it kind of reverses the trope that pretty, beautiful people are the good guys and the ugly people are the ones that are the bad guys. And here, Delphi has been described as, you know, very pleasant and beautiful, and charming. She has been charming. Yep. So obviously, you're going to trust them. So her being like, oh yeah, male children, they're so naturally pliant. It's like, I could get away with it because I was pretty. I had pretty privilege. Like,
yeah, I mean, she does kind of allude directly to that. It's like, oh, it's pretty easy to make them do whatever I want when they're blind. I'm sure Fleur, if she went on a more evil approach, could have probably done the same thing, as we've seen other Vila throughout the series do.
She just like flips her hair and they all swoon, and then she sends them on her evil path.
Yeah, kind of. Not that Delphi is necessarily Vila, but I'm just saying. But she continues on after she breaks Albus and Scorpius' wand with, I am the new past, the new future, the answer this world has been looking for. Not villainous at all.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, really interesting scene there with, I guess, the trio of this book, or the trio of this play. It ends up being with Albus, Scorpius, and Delphi.
Yeah.
That's the thing from the first books.
Trying to reuse that same formula, just with a different spin on it.
I like that their wands get snapped, though, because it does amplify the intensity of this moment and shows, like, oh, we're in trouble now.
Danger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, we should have just had McGonagall destroy the Time Turner.
This was a good surprise. I did not see this coming, that she was evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting heel turn. We continue to Act 3, Scene 17, Ministry of Magic. We're now in Hermione's office, and we get a vast change in vibe here. Ron is sitting on Hermione's desk eating porridge.
I love that that's a detail. He's
Porridge.
stuffing his face.
Not pudding, not anything else. Porridge. He's eating porridge, rambling about the other realities and how they were not married in seemingly any of them. Like, it was which we talked about earlier, of just being like, it's a stunning surprise to either Ron or Hermione in all of these other realities that they are together.
It makes me wonder if then this reality is that oddball one where it's like, oh, we were successful. Every other reality we were not, but this one we get to be married to each other. What weirdos we are. Like,
I think that's what he's kind of reflecting on, though. Is like, are we the weird ones right now?
why do we work so well?
Hermione suggests that he get to the point since she has a meeting with goblins about Gringotts security. Which, side tangent right here, it's just fascinating to me that Hermione is the one to have... I get that she's literally the head of the government, and she would be having this meeting. But Hermione broke into Gringotts. And goblins, we know, are not exactly quick to forget. This would be a fascinating meeting to sit in on, and I could just imagine them glaring at each other, like Hermione trying to do business and trying to make Gringotts safer, while the goblins are just like, you're the reason we have to make it safer. Like, what did you do?
That reminds me of the real world with, you know that movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
Where, like, the guy was defrauding the FBI, and then the FBI hires him to be like, okay, help us be better. It's like, it's just like that.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the goblins just being like, you gave everybody a blueprint on how to do this. And now I have to sit in this stupid meeting with this human. Like,
it could have been an email.
It could have been an email. Could have been an owl. Could have just sent us an owl. Could have owled me. Yeah, I just find it as a fascinating meeting that she's got to take. But she threatens Ron because him rambling on like this and suggesting that it's odd that they're the only couple that seems to have worked through all of the time realities.
For so long.
Yeah.
We've been together so long.
She threatens Ron with a skewering because she thinks he's suggesting a marital break at this point.
Oh, no.
We're just getting some great golden trio +1 relationship issues. Like, they're both having issues. But Ron says, shut it for 1 second. If you could just be quiet for just a second, what I really want is a marriage renewal. We were young. I was drunk. I can't remember much of it. And the truth is, I love you, Hermione Granger, and I want to say it again in front of everyone. Sober this time.
It's cute until Ron says, I didn't remember our first wedding because I was drunk the whole time. Like,
well,
that does make me sad.
Yeah.
To be fair, Hermione was there. I'm sure she's well aware of it.
Well, yeah, but it's just like, oh, you were so in love with her, so you chose to be drunk the whole time?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to choose... Look, I am not endorsing that behavior at a wedding. However, I will try to spin this as positively as I can for Ron. I think he was so overjoyed that he got his girl that he was like, celebrations! Like,
sure.
Let's indulge.
That's totally fine. I think my problem isn't with them saying that he's like not sober at a wedding, but my problem is how he's written, and I'm sure you have talked about how he's just written not like the Ron we know. He's just kind of dumb. So obviously this Ron in the play, he would get drunk at a wedding and just be like silly and goofy, but...
That's fair. That's right. It does fit this Ron a little bit better. I do think he would have indulged. I could totally see George slipping something in his pumpkin juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep giving him fire whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Hermione does melt a bit at the idea of Ron wanting to redeclare his love. So Hermione does kiss him. At this moment of tenderness and coming together of couples, Harry, Ginny, and Draco enter the office, intruding upon the romance. And obviously, Hermione and Ron break apart immediately. And a lot of stuff has happened in Hermione's office. I'm just saying. There's a lot going on there. They inform Hermione of Harry's recent dreams and the fact that the boys are missing again. And they say that McGonagall has searched the school and the grounds and has come up empty. They are gone. And Hermione's suggestion is, let's summon the Aurors. Which, look, I know this is peacetime. I get it's peacetime. And I get that they've done a lot of wrangling. Harry has been on his game with tracking down other remnant Death Eaters and other dark wizards. And I get it. But if I was an Auror that had top marks on my owls and my newts, right? I go into this presumably extra Auror training that's hard and difficult, and I have to pass all these extra things. I gotta find 2 kids. Really? I'm a babysitter now? I'm being hired by the Ministry of Magic to be a babysitter? What?
Welcome to child duty.
Ugh. I would not be happy. Can you imagine Kingsley having to do that? I mean, I guess technically he did have to do it at some point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Kingsley. It would be like, and I have no basis other than from the movies, but like, it would be the new guys.
Actually, I'm just thinking about this now. They all actually did do child duty watching Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Harry was special.
I mean, Mad-Eye, Kingsley, and Tonks all had to watch Harry at some point.
Dumbledore said everything, depended on Harry.
Yeah.
There's no prophecy that says everything depends on Scorpius and Albus.
Well, not according to Harry in these dreams.
Yeah, well.
Harry is the prophecy at this point. He's the one prophesizing. He has taken the Trelawney role.
They should have paid more attention to dream interpretation.
Clearly. So Ron injects himself into this conversation, which, for the record, I actually like him. The way we've seen Ron, he's been very passive. He's been very, sidelined this entire story so far.
If he wasn't there, nothing would have changed.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I like him stepping up and being like, hey, I actually have some info on this. Granted, it's not the greatest info, but it is info. Ron says that he was having a few fire whiskeys with Neville in Hogsmeade, which I love. I love that he was hanging out with Neville just on his side, hey, bro, what's up? How's it going? And I'm sure Neville was telling him all the teacher stories about all of the good students and the not-so-good students that keep him entertained, I'm sure. But they were having fire whiskeys in Hogsmeade, and Ron saw Albus with an older girlfriend. That's why he's kind of disappeared and gone off on his own. And Ron's like, hey, she's a looker, okay? She's got this gorgeous silvery hair. She looks great. And I saw them on the roof near the owlery. And, Scorpius was being a gooseberry. Which, friends in the UK...
What does that mean?
I'm assuming this means third wheel. I'm assuming it means something along the lines of a third wheel.
In British slang, a gooseberry or play gooseberry refers to an unwanted third person, often a single friend, tagging along with a romantic couple. Okay, chime in on the comments. Let us know if that's what a gooseberry is.
I think I'm going to start referring to them not as the third wheel anymore. I think I'm going to start using gooseberry in my everyday. After mentioning the gooseberry bit, Ron brings up that he's glad his love potion is finally getting put to work in good form. Harry, while Ron is going through everything, is starting to connect the dots a little bit and goes, wait a minute. Was there blue in the silver hair? Silvery blue, good looking, a little bit older than Albus and Scorpius? And Ron's like, yeah, definitely. And Harry's like, oh, it's Delphi Diggory. It's Amos's niece. That's who Ron is referring to. She came, obviously, if we remember back, she came with Amos to Harry's house when Amos was like, my son deserves better. That whole spiel that got Albus on this track. So Harry connects the dots, and as Harry thinks more and more about it, Hermione shouts, "Ethel, cancel the goblins." And that's how the scene ends.
I have so many issues with Ron in this moment.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with Ethel. I'm like, what did Ethel do? Wow. Ethel hate.
Ethel's the worst.
Is it the love potion?
It's the love potion. I didn't even think about this back when he first said that he gifted it to Albus. But now I'm like, Ron, you were a victim of a love potion. And you almost died as a result of everything that happened with that love potion. I could not see him encouraging young men to use love potions based on his own trauma of experiencing that, especially with a woman like Hermione as his wife.
And then, Ginny as his sister?
Yeah, and just all of that erases everything from book 6. So I hate that aspect of it. And then I also feel like if Ron saw Albus with an older girlfriend, he would have immediately told Harry just to let him know, because while Ron cannot hold secrets very well, he's always been very loyal, and he knows how much stress this has caused his best friend and his sister to see their kid keep disappearing and running away and all that. So the only possible excuse I could give him is that once again he's too drunk to really think about it, which is really making Ron look pathetic in his 40s.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of turnaround here. I don't put it on Ron because I don't think there's a whole lot of time that flipped over between him having this outing with Neville, because it was literally like that. It was that night. So
I disagree with you because I also think that Ron is in the wrong here.
Well, he's the one that gives all the info. How is he wrong? So the kids just disappeared, right? They were just at the rooftop on the Owlery.
Okay.
He was out with Neville that same night. That's how he saw them on the rooftop of the Owlery.
Okay, so then he couldn't have drunk too much to have not really thought about this.
He also remembered all these details. If you're drunk, you're not remembering these details. Silvery blue hair from the rooftop of the Owlery?
Yeah.
He's not drunk.
Okay, I'll give at least that. But that whole love potion thing and being like, oh yeah, good for Albus. That love potion.
Love potion, I'll give you.
Weird.
Like,
that's
it's
giving
so
creepy uncle vibes.
Yeah.
The love potion, I'll give you. That is a questionable gift, especially with the history that you unveiled.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm not getting in this that I just thought about is that Ron's relationship with Harry. It's not really written in this, right? Like his close. They don't show that friendship very often.
They don't show moments of it here, no.
Yeah, I wonder if this version of their adult selves aren't as close too, so maybe that's why.
It seems like they've separated it into Ron, Hermione, Harry, Ginny. And they're just keeping them fairly separate in those two couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not as they don't talk as much. I don't know.
I think it's just how they've decided to group these characters together.
That does bring up a good point, though, because that's something I've been missing from this without realizing it. I loved those Ron-Harry scenes of just bro bonding.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't toxic male bonding. It was we discuss emotions and we discuss what's going on with us and we help each other out. And this could be a perfect example of them doing it. But because they don't seem to hang out as much, they don't get that opportunity.
He's hanging out with Neville instead.
Yeah.
Can I propose something, though? As we've talked about earlier with them all getting, and Ron even says it in this scene, getting married young. As they've become adults now, I'm not saying they grow apart, per se, but we've gotten it through this story about Ron does feel the odd one out. Because Hermione and Harry are working together at high levels of the Ministry of Magic, and he's working at a joke shop. They're occupied all the time. Harry's out catching dark wizards and going all over the world to do so, and Hermione's running the wizarding world as we know it. Ron's left out in the cold. So he does maybe have more time to go visit Neville at Hogwarts after he gets done with a day of school and have a drink at Hogsmeade, whereas Harry and Hermione are working. So with Ron here, I think we're all agreed Ron has definitely taken a step back in this book. And
he just feels out of character to me.
It seems a little weird. He seems a little more... Well, I think a lot of them seem different. I think, we've talked a little bit about it, but Harry, I think, actually takes more changes in the positive, minus the couple of conversations with Albus. Mm-hmm. And then Ginny and Ron, I think, both take big steps back from who their character is and has been.
Especially Ginny is so strong and independent in the books, and here she just seems to be sitting to the side being like, Harry, take care of it.
Yeah. If Ron took like 10 steps back, Ginny took like 50.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she took way step back from where we're used to seeing her. And then Hermione may be a little bit more business-like.
Ron made her softer, but not in a bad way. Like, he rounded out her edges a little, but now it seems like those edges have come back. And it seems out of character to me.
Seems a little bit more prickly.
Yeah.
I wish that there was more world building in this with the main characters from the original Harry Potter. Like, how we want them to be. And maybe, yes, there's, like, problems, but you're right. Like, the characters and the way that they're describing them, it's disappointing a little bit.
I think Julie, when she was on, brought up the idea of even the side characters that have just tangentially been dropped in here don't even seem like themselves. And she brought up the example of when Umbridge makes an appearance, wherever she does in this production, she doesn't start with the stereotypical, like, hem that we know her for.
Yeah.
Like, she'd come in to a doorway, or she'd be around a corner, and she would just make the sound, and it would strike fear in you as a reader, because you're like, oh no. And here, she just came in and just started with her, like, spiel.
Yeah, that or, like, Draco always calls Harry instead of Potter. Like, when has he ever called him Harry? Like, even as adults, I don't think that would change.
Probably not.
Can I tell you my favorite wild character change from this?
Yes, please do.
The dessert trolley witch.
Oh.
Absolutely love that she throws pumpkin ninja stars and she's a monster and she can, like, be John Wick on the top of the train. It is so good. That is peak writing, and I am here for it.
That was the part where I'm like, okay, this is officially not canon in my eyes.
Nope, that is the only part of this that is canon.
That referred to Voldemort as Voldy.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that you have a different vibe of that. That's fantastic. Pumpkin ninja stars, John Wicking on the top of the Hogwarts Express. It's fantastic. What are your other thoughts on Cursed Child as we've gotten to Act 3, Scene 17? What have you got so far?
It's entertaining. I feel like my opinion isn't going to be, like, groundbreaking or anything. It's kind of middle. Like, there are positive things about it as a play, as a theater production. I can see how it would be really entertaining to see live, and I like that piece of it. I think if our expectations are it's a sequel to the Harry Potter books, I think that's where we get disappointed, where it's like, no, there's not enough world building. It's a different format. It's not a linear story. It's a play. It's a production. So I think those pieces I'm a little disappointed with, because it, like you said, it was marketed as a sequel. But I don't think it's bad as a standalone musical or play, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's bad as a standalone theater production. I think it's just disappointing if it's a Harry Potter sequel.
That's fair. I think that's a pretty common thought. I think the play is actually pretty universally well-liked. I haven't heard many people say anything poorly about the actual stage production.
You were looking up how many awards it had won, right?
Yeah, it won 6 Tonys.
Wow.
It was nominated for a bunch, and it won a few of them. Mostly they were technical awards, like lighting and set design and costuming and stuff like that. But they also won Best Director. And they won Best Play. They won Best Play at the Tonys, which is a big-time award.
Yeah.
And I tried searching through a couple of reviews from back when it first came out on Broadway, and it was hard to find a negative one. Mm-hmm. So everybody pretty universally liked the actual production. Obviously, a lot of Harry Potter-specific people, when reading this book, have a lot of issues for a lot of the things we've mentioned. Some character things that don't quite match up what we're used to, and some curveballs, although you like it. The curveball of the trolley, which did throw a lot of people. like you said, there are some things that I like. Like, I do like look at an alternate reality of if Voldy had won, what does that world look like?
I like Scorpius.
I love Scorpius. Scorpius, I think, is a standout in this. Oh, that's what I wanted to say, too, is through these couple of scenes, 14 through 17, Scorpius, to me, seems like the protagonist. Seems like the main character that we're supposed to be following. I think Scorpius kind of steals the stage production, too. He just comes off as so engaging and so charismatic that you just want more of Scorpius. Give me a book about Scorpius.
Right, yeah.
And maybe Albus could be there, but it's really a Scorpius Draco book.
It would be interesting to see one, instead of focused on Harry Potter and his legacy, is the Draco Malfoy and his legacy, just the Malfoy family as a whole.
Yeah,
I think.
where Harry is a tangential
That could be
character.
that redemption arc that Jen has been wanting this whole time.
Yeah, and the world building. I would love to see the Malfoy Manor and like all the secrets there.
And the White Peacock, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Strolling the Malfoy lawn.
Really?
What's the story behind the peacock?
Yeah.
I want to know more about this peacock that's on the Malfoy Manor lawn. Yeah, there are plenty of ways to expand the wizarding world of Harry Potter. There's 1,000,001 things people can do. And I don't dislike the idea for the actual stage production. I just wish they'd left it as a stage production, not publish this as the 8th Harry Potter book.
Yes.
That, I think, is where...
But had they not, we would not be doing this right now.
That's true. And we are very happy to be talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, because it does generate a lot of discussion. And we would like to hear your side of things as a listener. We've obviously talked about quite a bit in this episode. Obviously, Harry and Ginny's relationship, Ron and Hermione's relationship, the idea to not give the Ministry of Magic the Time Turner back, because clearly Albus and Scorpius are more responsible than Harry or Hermione at this point in their lives. Or any point in their lives. So we want to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment either on Spotify or on any of our social medias. Again, that's Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Find them all at Hogwarts a Pod. You can participate in the poll by scrolling down on Spotify and participating in that. There's also polls that we sometimes post on Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky as well, as best we can. Engage. We like seeing that engagement. We love seeing these numbers that come through on Spotify Wrapped. It's really humbling to see all of the support and all of the love that you guys give us, and we hope we can keep doing this for quite a while for you guys. So thank you all for listening. We will end it here, and we'll be back shortly with another episode. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to Hogwarts, a podcast. If you like what you've heard, please click the subscribe button on your preferred podcasting app and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Hogwarts a Pod.